I heard you wanna chat with your girl, chat with your girl, chat with your girl, chat. Business and beauty, come and confess how you make your money and say yes to the gas.
Yes to the gas, y'all. We have one of the most fiercest guests of this season. I am so excited that I got to snatch you into this couch and have you here for Say Yes to the Guest. Please welcome the one, the only Jackie. What's up?
Hey, boo. Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited.
Same. I love podcasts. They're
You
so
do?
fun. I do. I feel like I could just sit down and like talk with a friend. Like they're so chill.
Yes.
Right?
You know, for here, we like to get glam, and you are serving fashion down.
Well, you know, chill for us.
Yes,
Is
for
like
us, for us.
3
for sure.
stacked lashes
Yes,
included.
for
So
us.
it's a different kind of chill.
Yes, your hair
But
is
it's just
laid,
relaxed.
your face
Thank
is
you.
beat, your waist is snatched. As always, skin is glowing.
So something.
Yeah, we're in flats though. I guess that's more chill
Well,
for us.
technically, this is
The
like a 3-inch
platform.
platform. So is it really a flat though?
I mean, it's fashion, and you always give it to us. Welcome to
you.
Say Yes to the Guest. I'm so excited.
Same. Thanks for having me.
You are literally such an inspiration. I have my little accolades for you. You have a YouTube following of 3 million subscribers, 1.5 million on Instagram. You launched an eyeshadow palette for deeper skin tones with Anastasia, extended foundation tones with Too Faced. You are on the cover of Essence magazine. You are a trailblazer for men and women of color. And you also have your own lifestyle brand called Forever Mood.
Yes.
And you got a fiance. Goddamn.
I know. Actually, when you say it like that, I'm like, dang, that's a lot of stuff.
Right. How does it feel?
I think, well, from considering where I come from, I look back and I'm just like, wow, like I really have everything that I prayed for, which is awesome.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know. It just feels good to like really be living out my purpose, my passion, what I really genuinely feel like I was created to do. I love beauty. I like making people feel good. I like making people laugh. And I get to do all that, you know, and I get to get paid for it, which is cool.
Yeah, so yes to the guest. YAS stands for You Are a Success. And we're here to just break it down today.
Okay.
And I don't know where to begin. Like during this quarantine, amidst the quarantine, you have launched your own brand, Forever Mood, and still been on top of your game. And you've been on
Yeah.
YouTube for how long now?
Well, this makes my 11th year.
What?
I know.
That's
11
so crazy.
years. Like, in my life then when I started is like obviously night and day because you've been watching me for a while, but like night and day. I didn't even know people were making money like that on YouTube back
Yo,
then.
right? But I've known you for years, girl. Like,
I know.
for you guys listening, I've known Jackie from Lil Pumpkin Pie 05, your first username. And you just, I don't, do you remember how we met? I think
Actually,
it was
wait.
just like-
I want to say it was the Motives trip, but I feel like I met you before then.
I think we have met in passing.
I
here
honestly
and
don't
there.
remember the first time, but the
Yeah.
Motives trip was definitely our first trip. Remember when we went to Miami?
Yes.
Was that like 2015, 14?
Yes.
That was so-
Yeah,
wow.
2014. That's when I was
That
still
was so long
freelancing and
ago.
just started YouTube.
You were still freelancing then? Oh my God.
Yeah. I did full-time YouTube, I think like 2016.
Oh.
Crazy. When did you become full-time YouTube?
Okay.
So out of the 11 years, how long have you been full-time?
Okay. So I was like, I don't know what's going to happen with this YouTube thing, but I'm just going to try to pursue it full time. I made that jump around 2014. I want to say 2015, but I wasn't making money. I just was like, I'm just going to like
So when was
commit
the
to this.
real like full-time? Well, okay, so like about 5 years of like half of
Yeah.
the 11.
Well, I mean, like, I basically was like, okay, can I just make enough money to like pay my own bills and like not have to rely on my parents? That was like 2014, 2015. But I didn't actually start like making money. Like, okay, you cute now. Like you can
What
afford
year?
like I could not even afford like Michael Kors until like like 20, because I remember I used to put that one bag that I had behind me in my videos. And that was the year that I had my first viral video. Remember my trends were ditching?
Yes.
So that was like 2014. Yeah, it was that year.
2014. I think,
'Cause
yeah, 2014,
like it was
2015.
like a stretch to be able to spend like $200 on a bag for me. Like that was like a stretch.
Really? So was that bag like, I think one of your first like YouTube?
It was my
YouTube got
first
me
ever.
this.
Yeah, it was my first ever like designer bag. And I ended up giving that back to my mom, and she still wears it. It's so cute. It's actually yellow. It matches your shirt. It's like a canary yellow.
Yes.
And you know, my Mr. Kors is nice, but we've since our change.
You got your mama damn car, okay?
Well,
So,
there's that.
From the bag to the car to making more bag. That's
Exactly.
crazy.
I know, but the thing is, like, Pat, like, if I had $1 for everybody who thought I like came from money or privilege, I always tell people, like, you guys see all this cool stuff now, you don't understand, and y'all don't remember what it took to get here. And I'm constantly reminding people, like, no, like, you don't just get this stuff in your sleep. Like, I had to like work, you know, and I also had to be at the right place at the right time. And that's kind of, I feel like all of our stories,
yeah.
like we're just at the right place at the right time. Like, I don't really feel like I was doing something that was that different from like what other Black creators were doing.
It was.
I mean,
though.
it is.
It's
Pat,
your
but-
voice.
I mean,
it's
it
your
is,
branding.
but a lot of people just don't like. They just don't get the visibility. They don't like. You end up just being like the right place at the right time, and that ended up being me. Yeah, I worked really, really hard, but there are a lot of Black creators who work incredibly hard, and they don't get the shine, which sucks. But you know, I wish I could change it, and that's why I do so much with what I do, talking about Black owned brands and shouting out Black creators. Like, I try to do that as much as I can, because it's like, I've realized and I've known, because I've experienced it, there's a gap, and it's like almost like a dog eat dog. Like, all right, one of us is going to make it. Who's it going to be? And I'm not going to kick the ladder down when I get to where I want to be. Like, I'm going to try to like help people as much as I can when I get to where I am. So
There seems to be like a little parallel between like Black Hollywood and also like YouTube Hollywood, I guess, because, you know, you see, like, I saw some of these Black actors saying the same thing in terms of roles and what's available to them.
Absolutely.
And then you see them being celebrated with Ava DuVernay
Right.
and Tyler Perry Studios, and them creating opportunities for each other, which
you
is
kind of
crazy.
have to. We literally kind of have to, which is so annoying, because then, you know, I started my channel because I had to basically take looks on women that didn't look like me, and I was making them like chocolate or friendly. So that became like a big part of my content, was like, okay, teaching dark-skinned people how to contour, teaching dark-skinned people how to like wear nudes. And then people will come on my channel and be like, oh, well, like, do you not like white people? And I'm like, huh? Where do you get that impression from? It's like,
Right.
we have to like literally create our own spaces, because we're not included in anything else. And then when we do that, they'll accuse you of like being racist. It's like, that's not how this works. I literally created this space because there was no room for me anywhere else.
What do you think it was like then and maybe like somewhat now that contributed to your success? To me, I'm just gonna assume and take a wild guess that it was the synergy between all your social media platforms in combination with your unique point of view, with your humor, with your foolery. Like, you'll roast yourself.
I mean, it's fun.
What I talk about in building, you know, brands is that you personify product. When you point out a pimple, you're like, well, she's here. Well, she's there. Well, she came to show up today.
I know,
You know,
right?
like you personify inanimate objects, like a blush. You're like, oh, well, she's
Right.
running low. Like, you're that's like so like unique. And I think that would you say?
I mean, you know what I think it is? I feel like, and I'm sure you probably can relate to this too, like, beauty for so long, for so many of us, has been so intimidating and so exclusive that like when people watch our content, they're like, okay, I see myself in this person. There's room for me. I feel like it's more that than, because some people don't even really care about makeup. It's like, it's kind of like sentimental for them. It's like, that's someone who looks like me. That's someone who talks like me. That's someone who doesn't take beauty so serious like the rest of the industry used to for so long. Remember how serious beauty used to be? So serious. You wouldn't tell nobody nothing. You did not tell people what setting powder you use. You wouldn't tell people what blush you use. Like, you would just never. All of the secrets were liteliterally trade secrets. You wouldn't tell nobody nothing. And then here we come. We're spilling all the tea.
Yes.
And the girls are looking at us like, stop telling them that. Don't share that. That's my favorite setting spray or whatever. But I don't know. I just feel like we've made it, like, we've kind of taken some of the walls down in beauty, and we've like, no, who cares? Like, just have fun with it. It's not that serious, you know?
It's crazy because to me, like, you're like Gen 1 beauty, like 2009.
Oh
you
my
started.
God.
But then when people
Yeah.
call me like, oh my God, like, you're one of the first, I'm like, no, I came in 2014.
2014.
Yeah.
But I
that's
don't
like
think
second
people realize
generation.
that,
People
though.
don't know.
People
like,
don't realize
there was like
that.
the Pancia, the Fafinette,
I
like
know.
the Dulce, the
The
Jackie,
OGs.
yes, the Peach
I was
Relude.
taking all their looks and I was making them chocolate girl friendly. That's literally what I was doing. I was like, okay, you like this one? I'm gonna show you how to do it on our skin. And they'd be like, okay, cool.
Well, wait, so how have you sustained like such a presence on social media?
I don't even know.
Really?
I have no clue. No, I'm just kidding. You know what I think it is? Okay, so this is actually a really good question that someone recently asked me. Like, how the hell do you maintain relevancy? And I think it's a lot simpler than people think it is. The thing is, I don't think second generation YouTubers are guilty of this. I think the first generation YouTubers, like myself and like my other peers that started when I did, we tend to be very, not selfish. Well, I don't know why I was thinking the word selfish. We tend to be very stubborn. So what works for us now is what we're going to continue doing. And with social media, we've seen it in the almost, over a decade of span that has continued to grow. Things changed so fast.
Right.
Things are constantly changing so fast. The apps that are popular now may not be that hot in a year from now.
Right.
Rest in peace, Vine. Like, I'm just saying, we
Okay.
see these apps and creators come and go because they're slow to adapt, they're slow to evolve, and they're slow to change.
So is that in your nature, or did you have to learn that?
I had to learn that because I used to be the person that was like, no, I'm going to do this way. I was the person who took beauty like, it was like very serious for me because I had to like impress my Nigerian side of the family. I didn't want to be on camera looking crazy because they were already judging me for not doing like a traditional career path. So when I did my videos, I was really soft spoken. I was educated. It's like I wanted to be taken a little more serious. And then it was just like, you know what? Nobody cares about that. Like,
What
why
was it?
don't
Was
you
it your
really-
audience that did that? Was it someone that told you?
No, I
or
think it was
like,
just me
no
being in
fucks
my own
given?
head, like
Okay.
not telling me. I was telling myself to not really be myself because I thought I had to like impress people.
You had to have the candle in the back. You
I
had to
had
have
to
the bag
like
in the
have.
bag. You
I just
have
had
the
to be
plants in
really
the-
like. I feel like I just wanted to be respected. I didn't want people to like love my content. I just had this thing with like being respected, and I just had to get over that. And I just started like looking at this was like 2013 and maybe 2014. I don't remember, but I remember like going through my videos and I'm like, I wouldn't even watch my own videos. Like my videos are so boring. Like why am I not even really like all the stupid stuff that I say that I edit out of my videos? What would happen if I just don't do that? And I just
Do you remember
be
what
myself.
video that was or what year?
I'm gonna tell you. So then I had this whole like epiphany. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like take the filter off and like really be myself. I didn't think anything of it. I was like, okay, like it'd be funny if I did like a video roasting a bunch of like makeup trends. Like I'll just do that. So I was talking about it with a coworker at the time because I used to work for this company that year. And I was like, do you think I should just like talk about roasting them, or do you think I should like actually like reenact everything that I'm talking crap about? She's like, no, you need to like demonstrate, like wear it. So I was like, okay, cool. So then I'm like, I filmed the video. The very first trends were ditching. This was Christmas 2014. It was like the day after Christmas because they would always go up right before New Year's Eve or right before New Year's, right? So I'm like filming this. I'm just like, this is so stupid. Nobody's gonna, it's not even funny. Like, I'm just like, what is wrong with me? Like, why would I even do this? But I was just like, I need to upload something. Like at that point I was like, I just need to get something.
By December, we're all tired. You got Halloween, then you got the dark lip fall
You're
looks.
packed.
You got foundation.
You're exhausted.
Yeah.
I know. Like the end of the year rollout is like intense. It's like
Meanwhile,
everyone's
your
selling gift
family's
sets.
grubbing and opening their gifts. We're opening up
We're
our
working.
files and uploading.
Exactly. We're trying to like extract and
Okay.
do all the things or whatever. And so yeah, so that was the first time I just really filmed myself unfiltered. And then I put the video up and I honestly did not think anything of it, Pat. Like I just put it up and just went and minded my business. The next day, it was like, I don't know, 400,000 views. I was like, okay, time out. What the hell did I just do? And then at first I got scared because I was like, did I say something wrong? Like, am I getting dragged? Am I getting canceled? What did I do? So I'm like reading the comments and I was like, oh, y'all like this. Oh, y'all really actually like this?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a done deal. And I never went back to the old Jackie because people love saying you're so different now. You've changed.
That's what a lot of influencers have said
I'm like,
to me.
if you only knew, I've always been this weird. Y'all have just never seen it on camera. So finally, that was the year where I was just like, yeah, like I'm not gonna not be myself anymore like that. that's for the birds. From now on, you're getting me, accept it for what it is and deal with it, you know?
Since that start, and then like you've like the Essence cover and the accolades that you've had, and brands trusting you to extend their foundation range, like what did it take, like in terms of like a team and support? Because obviously Nigerian family, they don't know. I mean, typically you would look to someone like a mentor or someone for advice.
Right.
So what was it for you? Like, was it a manager? Was it like a team?
You mean like what really kind of like
Took Jackie
the
and
next
Aina
level?
to the next level, yeah.
Well, first and foremost, and I'm sure you can probably agree, but I feel like your content can be great, but if you don't have the numbers to back it, it's just the reality of where we are. Brands, managers, teams care about numbers. You know, they care about your influence. They care about your conversion rate, right? So once that started to like grow and grow and grow, I hit 1 million. I started to like bring in like a decent amount of viewership every month.
We were all rooting for you. You were like, she's about. I remember posting. I was like, she's about to hit 1 million.
I know, that was actually insane.
It's been a long time coming, like for you to hit 1 million. We're like, she should have been here. Now you're at 3.
3, I know.
That's crazy.
3.5.
Yes,
4.
almost 4. That is crazy.
Yeah.
So go on, like team and
yeah.
numbers.
I mean, I feel like once your visibility matches the level of content that you're creating, that's when the offers start coming in. That's when the opportunities start coming in. I wish it wasn't like that, but that's just the reality. Like brands, and they all
This is what
all
I'm
they care
glad
about is
that
numbers.
you're able to break down too, because I think I'm crazy, and yes, it's numbers, but I think a lot of people take it so personal, like, well, the representation, they
agree.
don't need it. But it's like, baby girl, like you need the numbers so brands can trust you, because if they're gonna send you a PR package or send product, they're gonna want something in return, and it has to be mutually beneficial.
I agree. I actually just talked about that with someone recently, and the conversation about like deserving PR and do influencers deserve PR and trips and stuff like that. And to your point, I was like, I mean, it's not like we're getting them as like birthday presents. Like they're sending it and they're giving us trips because they know
And
they're
we're
getting
snapping
something
it,
in return.
and yes, they're snapping it. They're calculating
Exactly.
the
They're getting
views.
content. Like it's not like they do it because we're nice people. Like sure, we're nice people who happen to have things that
Right,
they want.
right.
They want something in return.
Right.
So that's important.
It's a new age way of marketing.
Advertising, exactly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they'd be spending upwards of what, $100,000 on commercials.
On not
Right?
even a billboard. A billboard on
billboard,
Sunset
yeah.
in LA can go $50,000 to $75,000, which is so crazy.
Exactly. So
but
it's just different. It's just diversified differently now.
Yeah, but if we have Jackie or an influencer speaking to our product in a fun way that's true to you, and
Exactly.
you give feedback to the brand, that's really cool that they're able to be successful both ways. You know, I talk about this trinity of trust. There is the brands, there is the influencers, and there's the consumers. And to me, you have to kind of balance this even triangle
Yeah, that's
between
a good
all
point.
three, because then we're there as influencers, but the consumer is buying from the brands at the end of the day, but the brand
Right.
is trusting the influencer to promote the product.
Yeah.
And the customers have to trust us to give money to the brand. And so do you feel like any of that like applies to your business today?
What, the trust?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like I feel like my viewers and the people who watch me and buy my recommendations, they know I'm not putting my name on anything I don't like. Like they already know what time it is. So yeah, I definitely feel like that. That trust is very solid. And I take it very serious. I take it extremely serious. So when a brand says like, can Jackie post about this? It's like, I need to try it first. You know, like it's never going to be an automatic yes, you know?
Yes. But sometimes, in the beginning when we want our bread, girl, it's like,
Well, the thing is for me, like I didn't get those opportunities at all for a while. So by that time, it was like, I've already had the chance to like form my opinion about this brand or do, like, and it was kind of weird. It was like all the opportunities came at once for me.
one thing that I haven't talked about yet with anybody else, to talk about monetization in different ways that digital creators can monetize, because it's so confusing to some people.
Really? How?
Yeah, so T,
Like on our
T,
videos?
Yeah, T. I was doing Jessie J's makeup for our collab, and she like looked at me. She goes, how does this work? And I'm like, well, we're like commercials, I guess, and Google pays us, and there's ads that people pay for to run before our videos that get lots of views, and so there's like the AdSense T that, you know, the more views you get, there's an ad that plays, you know.
Right.
So for the people that really want to get into it, there's also affiliates, like links or discount codes where the brand gets something and we get something.
Yeah.
So for you, what you just said about not getting those opportunities first, like brand deals per se, was it like the AdSense and the affiliates?
Like, what was my main source of income? Yeah, I mean, for the longest time, most of it was like through AdSense, which when you don't have a lot of followers, it's not very much. It's like barely
you
enough.
know what's so funny, T? You have to hit a certain threshold to cash out.
That's what they don't tell you, is you have to hit a certain threshold to even claim that money. Like,
okay, so T, I think that the threshold is like $100, right?
Do you know how long it took me to get that?
Girl, me too. I remember it was like, you made $95. I was like, I need this 95, and then I looked at the fine print. It said you must hit 100 on the end of the 26th of the month prior or something. I was like, I'm not gonna get this until 2 months from now or something. Basically, it was just so funny.
Basically, that's how I started too. I think I did that. I don't know, like in the first. I think it took me like 6 months to hit a $100 threshold when I first became a partner, like way back when.
Yeah, but I think to inspire anyone that's listening, you know, in terms of being a business mogul, an entrepreneur, I think you guys don't have to just understand like how we do things, and in terms of like this starter pack of beauty, like a camera, lights, and a pretty face, and good makeup skills. You really have to understand the business, and I feel like you knew that. So did you learn that from anybody?
Totally. Okay, so yes and no. I feel like my parents have these like kind of dualities amongst them. I have my mom, who's very like creative. She's very talented. She makes all her clothes. Every outfit you've ever seen my mom in.
The hat.
That's something that she made. Yes. So I get all of that from her, the creative side. And then my dad is very like, you just make money, just make money, just figure out a way to make money, just make money. Like money. All of literally every single one of my Yoruba names translate to money. All of them. And if you know anything about Nigerians, they will name their children based on what they expect of their children or like what they were going through at the time when they named the child. So like if you were really poor when you had your kid, I don't know, I'm just using that as an example. They may say like, oh, God will one day bless me. They may name their child something that will like talk about what they want to be blessed with in the future. Or I don't know, honey. Like even my last name, Aina, is Yoruba. And it translates to man born with an umbilical cord wrapped around his neck. I know.
What?
Or another way of saying like complicated birth. So that's what I guess was going on when the ancestors was, I don't know what was happening, but our names are very like literal. Anyway, I don't even remember what she was asking
in terms
me.
of monetizing, getting money and persona.
Oh yes. Like
did you
what
have
was my
like,
main?
Yeah, no, but did you have someone to give you the tea and like, girl, this is the AdSense link?
Really?
No?
Not
what
really.
Did you do? Did you just
I mean,
look at it?
a lot of it was just like trial and error, and a lot of it was also just like that business side that I was
all
really
just come
seeing.
with a manager, you know?
No,
like,
we didn't. That's what I'm saying. And there's stuff that I'm still learning, you know?
Yeah.
I'm still learning even to this day. But a lot of it was kind of like intuitive. Like, okay, like I need to get really serious. I need to be strategic. I need to come up with like an upload schedule. I need to figure out how to like negotiate contracts, figure out like, don't ever just accept like the first rate. Like those are just things that I just like kind of figured out because I don't really have anybody, not in the YouTube space at least, that could like tell me like, oh girl, this is what you need to be doing. Like I didn't really have any of that. So I mean, as I started to make more friends and I started to like go on more trips and I started to get more opportunities, then you start meeting more people that are like, oh, never accept this or never do that, which I think more influencers should do, right?
I think
to kind of
so.
like gatekeep, you know, the industry.
Right.
But yeah, it took a while. Most of that stuff I had to do on my own. And yeah, and trial and error.
Never entitled though.
Never entitled?
Like,
what do you mean?
Like I feel like you don't have an entitled demeanor when it comes to that stuff. It's just it is what it is. But I feel like the kids now.
Oh, some of the stuff I see, I'm like, girl, good luck with that.
Right.
Okay,
but it's
honey.
also too, we come from being an influencer and we understand, but there has to be a certain degree, I feel like, of humility sometimes when it comes to that and learning about the business.
Absolutely. Like one thing that really grinds my gears are when people say like Jackie Aina only works with big brands that, you know, line her pockets and all this other stuff. And it's like, actually, I do a lot of I go out of my way to post about brands that are smaller, up and coming. So with that said, knowing what I know about my rate, obviously I work with brands that are going to pay the coin, and they're going to pay the premium coin because of the amount of followers that I have. But if I'm working for like a startup Black owned brand, I'm not going to expect them to pay me. First of all, I'm not going to expect them to pay me if they don't have the budget. And I'm also not going to expect them to pay me the same offer of what a L'Oreal would, or like a CoverGirl. And that's just one, being able to like know my industry, and also like there's like a time and a place to ask for certain things. You know, I'm just not going to expect like a startup that has only been up and running for like, I don't know, less than a year to give me the same check like a CoverGirl would. Like, I just would not expect that. And that's just understanding the economy and then also being humble, because you know, some people are not that, you know, not that equipped, or they may not be that graceful with working with brands. And that's fine. They don't have to do nothing. They don't have to do whatever they don't want to do. But I think with the amount of small up and coming brands that I have supported, it does kind of irritate me sometimes when people say things like, oh, you only work with brands that are, it's just like annoying. It's like, dude, seriously, you'd be surprised. Like, I actually put more brands on and post about my brands for free $99 than I actually do get paid for them. So it's like, that's actually the furthest from the truth. But what's already known, like, I don't have to say that because everybody knows that, you know what I mean? So when people say that, I don't have to respond. Like, there's no need to, because receipts don't lie. And there's plenty of people who will jump on Twitter, right? If they see me respond to it, they'll come and say it for me. Like, they already know. They're like, actually, Jackie bought me my first lens, or actually, Jackie sent me my first pair of lights. Jackie flew me out.
Gave me thousands of dollars.
It's just like, huh? Like, I don't even have to say nothing. But
people just want to pinpoint the good, the bad.
I know. Who cares?
Ugly,
and I realize that me talking about it right now acknowledges it, but I'm just saying that's one of my like.
Well, you're human.
Peeves.
Let's talk about that. You're human. Your heart, you have blood in your veins.
Yeah.
And the you know what's so crazy, when I see something happen online, I don't know what it was. I think it was the beginning of like the Black Lives Matter movement and stuff. And you're very much a Twitter queen, a Black Twitter voice of reason, and you own that. You know, and people
think so?
I think so. Well, I'm only visible to pretty much beauty, but you see a lot. So when it comes to people coming for you, or you see something, like, how do you deal? Because I called you and you're like, hey, I'm just off my phone today. And, you know, I get concerned for my friends, and I don't say it from the mountains that I'm calling so-and-so, I'm on live, I'm calling Jackie. Yeah. But I genuinely care, because you're so stoic, you're so fierce, you work for what you had, like, this my shit, like, no one's going to stop me. But then at the same time, I'm like, I know what it's like to be around drama, and I don't tolerate. I have to shut off my phone sometimes and just get away.
No, absolutely. That week I had to do that a couple times because it was like so much coming in all at the same time. It was like people expecting me to
But girl, I
share
blink
things.
and there's like 5 tweets that you just did. I'm like, what is she doing? And then I
I
look at
don't
your
even remember
story.
what I was saying.
No, not then, but like every day.
Oh, in general,
like,
yeah.
How many times do you think
Honestly,
you tweet a day? Honestly, and
no,
I know
honestly,
you run it. It's your voice.
Of course, I run everything. I run every
But
platform
how many
except
times
Forever.
do you tweet a day?
No, but here's the thing though. I've actually been like I've been setting really good boundaries with Twitter specifically. Okay. Because Twitter is it's just so toxic. It's like, you guys are toxic on here for no reason. It's not even like they'll come for people and it's like, girl, she was just minding her business. Like, what was she wasn't bothering you.
Right.
So I've really been like, Twitter specifically, I've really been like, I need to like take a step back because it's too much. You just
take it with a grain of salt. Turn the page. Next day, new day.
So lately, I'm happy to report I've been doing really good with peeling back on my tweets a lot. I tweet like every other day now, but not like I would tweet multiple times a day at one point because it's fun. And then
it's fun to you?
It is fun. It's like fun to genuinely be like involved. And what I love about Twitter is like the conversational part of it. I love like talking to my followers. I love having conversations with people. Like, you can't do that on Instagram. You can't even do that on YouTube. You put up a video and you're like, okay, you have to like read the comments.
And it's live.
It's more live. It's more exactly when you're like commenting back someone on YouTube. They'll probably won't respond till the next day. It's like, it's not the same. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Twitter comes with its pros and cons. So I've just been like, I'm feeling
So if you're
like
about to
too
say
much.
something, let me jump into your head. Do you call Dennis like, hey, is this too much, babe? Like,
No,
do you ever do that, or a full
sometimes.
sister?
No, sometimes I do.
Or like an Alyssa Ashley? Like, what
I
is
do.
your routine?
I do. But the thing is now, I would say this year specifically now, I tell myself if I have to ask someone else if this is a good idea, it's probably not a good idea. So I'm not even going to bother. That's what I've been doing now. Or you know what? I'll write it out, draft it, and not post it, just to say I got it out of my
Girl,
system.
my thumb's too freaking fat for that kind of stuff. Knowing me, I'd probably hit tweet. I swear, I can't. Sometimes I'll defer to like my producer Fabian or Peter or like my manager. I'll be like, "Is this too much?" Because I can't handle. I don't know. Like, do I speak on this or
when
do
you're
I
trying
not?
to like diffuse something, or when you're trying to like
I don't
highlight
know.
something, or just anything
that stresses me
Yeah.
out, gets my blood pressure high.
You know what? It's not good to tweet in the midst of stress. It's not good. I'm like, sleep on it. Just sleep on it.
Right.
You're tweeting out of emotion now, or you're about to tweet emotionally. Don't do
But
it.
don't you tweet that? You do tweet out of
Not
emotion.
this. I've been really good.
Okay.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised at the stuff I ignore. You'd be surprised. Because let me tell you something, honey.
What we was talking about
They
right
have
before
been
we recorded, girl.
Oh,
Very
that too.
Very that.
Too.
Okay, I see.
But no, just even like stuff where like people have tried to like literally not just come for my wig, but like obliterate it, stomp on it, and set it on fire.
Right.
And I've just been like, I'm not gonna say anything.
Really?
I'm telling you, I'm a new person.
How long ago was this? Quarantine?
It was pretty much, yeah. I would
Okay.
say, I honestly feel like it was probably like the early quarantine days where I was just like, you know what? If I'm gonna be at home all day and like we already spent a lot of time on social media, right? I'm like, if I'm gonna like fold at every single thing I see, I'm not gonna like even enjoy what I'm doing. Like, you might as well just take stuff with a grain of salt and just learn how to like separate yourself and not take stuff so because I take things very personally. A lot of things I take very personally, especially when I know like it's not true or it's someone twisted something or exaggerated it. That's the stuff I would impulsively react to. And I don't do that anymore. I really don't. I've been good.
Well, earlier, because we're filming in my studio, we talked about having a separate working space, because at the end of the day, if we're in our living room or in our bed where we sleep or where we eat and where we shit, girl, the last thing we want to do is taint our space with that energy or that mental vibes. And,
I agree.
And it's almost like a forever mood candle. Like, what candle are you lighting and what mood is it going to be?
Exactly.
And that's not the mood that we're trying to have based off a tweet that triggers us and puts us in a bad mood.
Yeah. And then like, imagine literally being like constantly confined to like what people say about you online. Like, do you imagine how exhausting that is? Like doing that all the time. It's like you see one thing and it really hurts your feelings, and then you get over it, and then you go back online only to see something else. It's like, it's gonna keep coming. You might as well just like not accept it. Don't internalize it, because I don't internalize that stuff.
You had to learn this though. For people listening
had
out
to
there,
learn.
you had mature.
I had to learn, but I learned a little bit later because I have been on social media for so long, and I've been like everyone's like favorite for so long that like I had to experience that type of like
Foolery.
getting dragged. I didn't get that like for the first like 7 years of my career. So imagine for 7 years, virtually people leaving you alone. And then all of a sudden it like all comes at once. And now you're like, you know, everyone's favorite person to drag every other day. Not saying that applies to me, but I'm just saying like, wouldn't that be kind of weird? Like no one generally like messes with you or drags you for anything. And then all of a sudden, that's
you're
what I'm
like
saying.
the voice of reason.
Yeah. It's like, so I never really had to like deal with that kind of stuff. Cause like no one really bothered me.
What is, I follow Dennis on Twitter too, but he's more like,
He's so cute.
Here's my babes.
Yeah, he's
you
so
know,
cute.
my girl, proud of her, you know,
so
but
cute.
does he, what does he think of it?
Oh my God. So sometimes when he sees it, he's like, babes, I want to respond. I want to say something. I'm just like, please. I'm like begging him. I'm like, babe, please don't. It's actually so cute though. Because sometimes he'll see stuff that I don't see. And then, or I'll see it like later and he'll be like, yeah, I saw that and I wanted to say something. And I was like, no, babes, it's okay. He's so cute though. Yeah, but people be talking about him too, saying all this crazy stuff. I'm like, babe, it's okay. But you know what? He's really secure. And it definitely takes a very secure man to be with someone, one who gets more spotlight than they do, because a lot of men, a lot of straight men cannot handle that. It's like a mind. They start twitching as soon as the woman gets more attention. They're like, wait,
really?
what's happening? What?
I'm gay. Okay,
straight men. Oh Lord. Oh my God. When they're not the center of attention, are you kidding me? It doesn't matter how hot you are. Like, a lot of men can't like being with a woman in the public eye. They can't do it. They can't do it.
Dennis you told me is a part of Forever Mood.
He is. He's the co-founder. So I take more of like a creative director role as far as like what my responsibilities are, but he's done everything. Like, I said, babe, I want to do candles. Here, you do something with this.
Wow.
He did
when was
everything.
That? What was that?
Well, we started having the conversations 2018. We started testing samples. But then we kind of shelved it. We did around 2018.
Wow.
But then we shelved it to work on something else. And then I had to make some changes to my team. So we had to like pause a lot of things. And then quarantine happened. And we were like, should we be crazy enough to like
just pull the trigger, just do it.
Just do it. That was like at the beginning of the year. So at the beginning, it was even before we knew we were going to go on lockdown when we started talking about the candle brand again. And we had no idea. We had no idea things were going to be like this. But then it was like, right now, this is actually perfect. Like, we should just, let's do it.
And then how what's the team like?
Okay, so it's me and Dennis. And then we have like our manufacturing team that they already have their own employees.
Okay.
So we kind of work with them like as a partner in a way. Yeah, we work with them in tandemly, and they produce the candles for us. They do like the fragrance and stuff. They're really awesome, and they're here in California, which is great.
Yes.
So I get to like see them being hand poured. And then I have a social media manager. I have my personal assistant. I am kind of like working with my own like in-house creative team. So like I want to be able to have like an in-house videographer. I want to be able to have like an in-house photographer. Yeah. We're not quite there yet. It's gonna take some time, but yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna blink and you're gonna be there. Like, honestly, just like a tweet.
I hope so. I'm excited to do stuff outside of candles, like other lifestyle category things.
We're excited. We're excited. How does the Jackie team compare? The Jackie team.
My personal team.
Your
personal team. So with me, Jackie Aina, the brand, the influencer, you have publicist. I have my publicist. I have an agent. I have a manager who are actually twins. So I have technically two managers. And who else do I have? That's pretty much it. And Dennis doesn't participate in the Jackie. No. You say if y'all can see her face. Because the conversations have come up, and he does help me with your photos. Face, that is a meme. Let me tell you something. I love the fact that there's separation between Yeah. I think it'd be too close. That's so funny because, there are other influencers, husbands, boyfriends that are in the personal brands of influencers. Yes. We know. We can be her naming so many. With Dominique Cosmetics and her husband. They both started the company. Desi and Steven. Katie and John. Chloe and Sebastian. Yeah. Exactly. Karen. But the conversations have come up like, oh, would you let like your Did you ever have a trial period? A what? A trial period? With Forever? No, or with Jackie. I mean, well, the thing is, like, my siblings, for example, like when you're constantly around someone you love, like they're going to be involved in one way or another, right? But it's up to you to decide how closely you want them to be involved with your personal, like with your influencer business. With Dennis, the conversation never came up about him being like fully us doing it together as influencers. But like, I taught him how to take my photos, which he's pretty good at. He's actually gotten really good at it. He learned I taught him how to edit. Well, actually, I didn't even have to teach him that. He learned how to do that on his own. So he was doing our vlog channel, and he actually gets his own deals on our vlog channel, which is kind of cool. Wow. Yeah. So he was pretty much doing that for a while. And then I know you remember Work Smarter Lifestyle. Yes, so he was doing that for a while. Yes. But Dennis has been really good. Shirts. Me too. Yes. I'm like, this is vintage. It's gonna be worth something someday. But no, it's nice to work with him, but like that can't be like, for me, it's like that
You
can't
drew
be
the
his
line.
only thing, because then it's like we'd be at each other's throats 24/7. Like I need to have some space, some separation.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah,
And
that's fair.
he's agreed. Like he's like, I would never manage you, and I'm like, I wouldn't want you to either, because we'd be driving each other insane.
So anyone listening at home that happens to have a significant other,
Make use of them. Make use of them. I mean, if they're, the thing is, like, if they're willing, Dennis has always been like willing and super enthusiastic about working with me, but like to a certain extent, you know what I mean? Like as a couple,
because you also want to protect your personal relationship too.
Exactly. As a couple, like I feel like it's really important to kind of have that separation, so that you're not like,
And it does not work for everybody.
it doesn't work for everybody.
And sometimes it works for others.
And
So,
sometimes works for others. So the
yeah.
advice I would give to somebody is like, if it works, then do it. But
So in terms of building a team, now that you broke it down, like how do you deal with the foolery with
Oh my
hiring
God.
and firing people? Like what is that like? Have you ever been through it?
yes,
I know, but I'm just trying to sheep herd your ass into the answer.
yes,
Because I have too. I'll share. I fired somebody
recently.
like earlier this year, and it wasn't the best thing, and it was for One Size Beauty, and it was something that I just had to do.
You have to do it.
Yeah, I just had to do it. And
Yeah.
I think personally, I won't go into details about like the situation per se, but for me and what my, wrapping my head around the personal part of it, my feelings and emotions, I just had to set that aside and do what was better for the business overall.
Such a good point.
And for you,
Ultimately, like, I totally agree. Take your personal feelings out of it. It's not personal,
Yeah.
and you just have to like do what's best, not only for me, not only for you, but then like when you start a brand, you're like, other people are depending on me now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like other people are eating off of the decisions that we make now.
Right.
And I take that incredibly serious. So if you got me out here looking stupid, like we need to reel it back in.
Right.
We need to be like, okay, we need to reassess. Or if you put the company or me as an influencer in jeopardy,
liability,
that's important.
I think at the same time, if anyone listening like is going through maybe a decision or a tough decision or
Right.
whether or not to hire them, I think to revisit what the role and the responsibility is at hand.
Yeah.
And if they have stepped up to the plate to fulfill those responsibilities in their role.
Or is the person doing something that is putting you in a really bad position professionally? And then there's the obvious things, like, I don't know, and I'm not saying this happened to me, but the obvious things are like if someone's stealing, if someone's unethical or whatever, like those are like the obvious red flags. But yeah, it's definitely happened. I had to make a big change in my team towards the end of last year, and it had been some time coming. It had been like months and months of us trying to basically meet each other in the middle about an agreement that we had, and
It didn't work out.
it didn't work out. But with this particular person, that something that really bothered me was they would constantly try to use friendship as a means to get what they wanted from me. And that to me was a big red flag. It was like, I'm not even asking for like your left thumb, sweetie. Like, I just need XYZ. Like, if we're working together,
Yes.
you obviously
that
gain
is the
something.
responsibility in your role.
That's your role and your responsibility.
Yeah.
And if you're not fulfilling that, then we need to figure out how we can either revisit this or change the dynamics here. And instead of being like, let's talk, I want to make you happy, I love working with you, it was like, well, I'm your friend, I would never do that to you. And it's just like, I didn't ask you all that.
So anyone that has friends that is listening, that has a friend that wants to try it,
We weren't even friends like that though.
Right.
I mean, it's like, it was one of those things where like you work with someone and then they become your friend.
yes.
But then that person got a little comfortable, a little too comfortable. And they started using like that type of verbiage to like get what they wanted. And honestly, that I let that slide a couple times, not too many times. I definitely let that slide a couple times. But with that, it was like, no, we're good here. We're good. And I just had to draft
You
a
had to
really
think about the
professional
business. Yeah.
Oh, it was, but
Yeah.
it was like months and months. It wasn't impulsive.
Yeah.
And we just decided we had to, move forward. We had to move on. We were no longer, I think our work relationship at that point didn't make sense anymore,
And I think important part of this is not to just spill to you guys. I think just to listen that in building a freaking empire that has a mood that is supposed to be forever lasting, you're going to go through some shit. And I think that's perfectly normal in regards to building a brand.
Yeah. Yeah. And don't take that stuff personal, because you're going to have to do that. And don't be like distraught when like your employees or the people that are working with you, like don't do right by you. Like it's literally going to happen. You're going to be screwed at least once, like minimum.
Since you're a boss ass bitch to me, like what is one question that you ask when you're interviewing people?
Ooh, that's a good question. So
as an influencer,
I don't. Okay, so I don't do
the interviews.
I don't do most of the interviewing.
Okay, but if you were to,
but if I
give
was,
Dennis, like ask her blank, or ask him blank. What would you want to know? It could be crazy. It could be weird. Like what do you eat for breakfast, or anything, work or fun, or like yeah.
I'd probably ask them like how good they are at problem solving. So me, I'm the type of person, like I don't care about the problem. I want you to talk to me about the solution. So when someone comes up to me and they're like, Jackie, oh my God. I'm like, girl, did you fix it? That's all I care about.
Me.
I'm just like, I don't want to hear it. I don't care. I don't
me.
care. I don't get paid to care. It's not my job to care. I don't care. Did you fix the problem? Was it legal? Was it ethical? And leave it at that. I don't care what you did to fix the problem. Just don't involve me. All that other stuff is not my business. I'm too busy. I'm too busy to be the one person that everybody's like, Auntie Jackie. No, girl. Like I need you to figure it out, and then you can package the solution to me, and then tell me when you fixed it. That's all I care about. So I would want to know. I would ask them like, you know, how good are you at like problem solving? Do you work well under pressure? Because those are important questions. Like I need to know you're not gonna crumble. You know.
Right. Well, aside from being, you know, a boss ass bitch and a queen of all things beauty, let's talk about your personal life. Because, girl, this rock has been staring at me the whole time.
Well.
It's so hateful. So hateful.
She's rude.
But wait, can we talk about? I remember seeing you and Dennis in Europe together, girl.
Oh
back
my God.
then.
Were you on that trip?
I was.
Wait, the Jouet trip?
Yes.
Stop.
Girl.
Wait, you were there. Oh my God.
I was like, I don't remember us bringing plus ones.
You were like, I don't recall couples being
we were
on this trip.
We were specifically remember.
I remember
not
they
allowed
told us
to be,
no plus ones,
and then
they said no plus
you
ones.
had a plus one. I said, who that?
Technically, he wasn't the plus one.
Right, he wasn't.
Like,
no, I'm just playing.
I got
playing.
that, but it was actually funny because I was telling them, I was like, well, this is like the love of my life, y'all. Like he's gonna come meet me. So
she was there to jouer, to play, to jouer. Okay.
I was like, I mean, like, yeah, like he's gonna come, and they were like, okay, it's fine.
No, it's so crazy.
That was really cute
for you to balance your entrepreneurship and also have a man. I'm still trying to find mine. So
in LA,
I know
you're probably not gonna find one in LA. I couldn't even find one in LA.
I'm gonna need to find one in Europe.
You're gonna need to import one.
Okay.
You might need to. I'm being dead serious.
I'm there. So what I've been asking everybody, what is your like love language and what is his?
Okay, so Dennis's love language, he likes when I don't know what it's called.
Is it touch? Is it quality time? Is it gifts? Is it words of affirmation?
Words of affirmation. Words of affirmations. Absolutely.
Yes.
So Dennis, like, he just like lights up when I'm like, oh, babe, you cooked. Thank you, babes. Oh, babes, you did such a good job on this presentation. He just like loves it. It's actually really cute.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm definitely like a person who had to kind of work on that more often, because sometimes saying thank you just isn't enough. It's like you have to really be like,
you need to give like an Oscar award-winning
no
speech,
literally,
like,
and it may not even be something major. It could just be like, can you get the Cocoa Pebbles up there for me?
You know what's so funny? Whenever I talk to him and I'm like, wow, you guys are killing it. Like, you supporting Jackie. It's so funny because he has such a dad grin and he starts bobbing his head.
So
like,
cute.
oh,
Yeah, he always does that.
He has such this big dad grin. Like, and it's just like, he just starts bobbing his head. Yeah. It's
Babe,
just, it's just so cute. Like,
yeah,
how
he's so sweet.
But yeah, he's just such a cool guy.
I know. I was getting my hair done this morning and we're brushing our teeth and my hairstylist was in the living room setting up waiting for me. And I was like, oh, babe, did you make me breakfast? And I was like, yeah, I made one also. Because we get meal prep. So we have like a breakfast for Tuesday, a breakfast for Wednesday, a breakfast for Thursday. Like everything is allotted for every part of the day. And he was like, oh, yeah, and I made one for Mariama too. I was like,
oh, so he's an active service too.
He's
just
like really nice. Sometimes, yeah, but I just thought it was really sweet that he like didn't have to offer her something to eat, but he did, and it was like his own food. He's just he does stuff like that all the time. He's just like a really, and that's the kind of thing that's important to me, especially with men. Like, you know, some men just bringing up the conversation of like misogyny, and it's a man's world we live in. Like a lot of men truly feel like they don't have to be respectful to women unless it's theirs. And like, to me, that's not enough. Like, I want to know that the guy that I'm with is respectful to women in general, period. Whether he knows them or not, whether he's related to them or not, whether he's dating them or not, regardless, like, and Dennis is that person. So his love language is definitely words of affirmation. Mine, well,
how many can we pick?
I think mine is touch. I think mine is definitely touch.
It is?
Yeah, like I'm very affectionate.
The thing
very
is, it's like you are so stunning and stoic, and you just like you look like a Barbie doll. It's like, I wouldn't want to touch you because you're so pristine all the time.
Because my makeup doesn't transfer.
No.
So you can't touch me.
No, trust. But when I was like even touching you at our photos today, I'm like, she's just so sickening. I don't want to touch her waist, but she's just so snatched.
So cute.
But it's so crazy.
Yeah,
so
I love touch.
I'm a cuddle bug.
I'm a cuddler. I like little massages. I like little hand holding. I like that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to have to hold your hand on our next trip where we have no plus ones. If Dennis doesn't show up. No, I'm down. So next we have a segment called Doing the Most. Are you ready to play?
That's my middle name, Doing the Most.
All right, Doing the Most.
Doing the most, bitch.
Okay, Jackie, who do you think is doing the most?
Wait, like in life in general?
Anything.
Me, probably.
Yes.
Right at the top of the list.
What's going on? Like, what right now is having you do the most? Talk about a plug.
Like my career wise, or just in general?
Anything.
I mean, I'm definitely doing like 50 different things at the same time. So, story of my life. There you have it.
There we go. What means the most to you?
Ooh, family.
Family.
Definitely family. Especially with what we do. Family, I think, is the most important to be balanced.
I remember shopping with you last year. That's the last time I saw you. We were picking out your family Christmas sweaters, and I was fighting small, large, medium. Like the boys are gonna wear red. There's not enough red. Let's go blue. It was so cute.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that time with you.
Oh, I did too.
Yeah, it was so fun. When this one, I think we all want to know. When were you the most messy?
Ooh, my messy years. I'm probably say like messy Jackie was like 2017, 2018.
How?
I had a little moment.
Wow.
I think I just started to get really comfortable about having a lot of followers and like people listening to me. And then you know how when you get a little too excited, a little too Twitter happy, that was probably my era. Oh, that point.
Okay.
And I had to learn how to tame that.
Okay. That's funny. What is the most expensive thing you have?
Probably my G-Wagon. I'm gonna say.
It's the green one?
The green goblin.
That is so sickening.
She loud too. She very
I'm dead. I love that. Well, I want to say I'm going to give you words of affirmation. Thank you so much for joining me. I truly admire you and everything that you do and what you do for the world and representation. And I know you will continue to break down barriers for many more people to create opportunities for them. And it means a lot. And thank you for coming on Say Yes to the Guest.
Thanks for having me. Love you.
Make sure you check out Jackie on all socials at Jackie Aina and get your hands on a Forever Mood candle and future Forever Moods and snatch them at
forevermood.com. There's no E's. FORVR mood.com.
Check it out, y'all. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Say Yes to the Guest. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast and follow at Say Yes to the Guest on all social platforms. Remember, you are successful. Now go out and be the bad bitch you truly are. Can't wait to chat with you next time. Bye.